What is up, all you GBA tab people? This is Tom. I'm here bringing you guys my week 8 team builder for Leader Geo and his San Francisco GiEnteis. It is Battle of the Bay once again this season. Bottom line with this win is, or this match I should say, is that I need to win, but he also needs to win. Geo is in the midst of his playoff race, and I need to get back into it. You know, with Wolfie, and then you have all the 5 and 2 teams, Gator, Chimp, Mono, and John ahead of me. Pretty much I need to win out in order to get myself back into the playoff race. So this is pretty much a make or break match for both of us. Geo needs to win just to stay in contention with Joey, as well as Lars and I believe Cybertron. He may or may not be as behind as I think he is, but you know, they're all still really close. So going into this match, you know, Geo's team is extremely threatening. You know, looking at it, basically his team consists of Mew, Mega Scissor, Toxapex, Trio, Ditto, Rabombi, Shaman, Haxorus, Blacephalon, Rotom Fan, and Archeops. His 2 Z users are Haxorus and Archeops. Now, overall, his team has a fair amount of variance. He could go extremely bulky. He could also go a little bit more of an offensive variant with like Mew and Mega Scissor, and you know, he has obviously Rabombi, which can set up webs, or it can just be a straight up Quiver Dance set. You know, overall his team has options that he can use defensively and offensively, and I gotta prepare for that. Honestly, I gotta look over everything, and I gotta figure out how I beat certain things. And the one thing that I want to fix as compared to last season when I played him after he had gotten Ditto is I want to not at any point fear Ditto based on my own sets. That means not running hidden power values. That means, you know, being able to have moves that cover the mon I'm facing. You know, something that can hit it hard, then have the bulk myself to live a hit from the Ditto. Things like that. So that's kind of where my head is at with this match. I 100% expect him to be a sub DD Haxorus set because that seems to be what works really well against my team. I also expect Shaman, since it really does plow into a lot of my my Pokemon, and once like Roserade and Komodo are handled, pretty much it kind of just goes in. The only real checks to it that I have are like Mega Houndoom, things of that nature, and like Landorus if it sets up. So overall, his team's gonna be very threatening, and I gotta prepare thoroughly for it. So we're going to go into my team. My team this week is going to start off with Landorus Therian. And yes, you're looking at this right. I am running a double dance set. I've never run this set before, but I figure it is going to be extremely effective just in the fact that he has to prepare for any kind of Lando, whether it's Scarf, whether it's just Swords Dance, whether it's, you know, double dance like this, or if it's just Rock Polish. Sorry, Polish. This set is going to be heavily defensive, take on the likes of Dougie, Haxorus, and Scissor if I need to. Going to be running Z Earthquake as well as Fly, and then obviously it has 60 speed. This allows it to outspeed a Scarf Blacephalon at +2 after a Rock Polish, and it also, the nice thing about this Landorus is that it techs fighting against Ditto. Whether I have a Rock Polish up or not, if Ditto comes in and copies Landorus with the stat boost or not, I always go first, or I always go last, I should say. So if he decides to click Fly, he goes up in the air first, then I go up. He would come down, he wouldn't, obviously there's no target, and then I would hit him and I would knock him out. So basically he's forced to sack his own Ditto if he chooses to play this game of staying in against Landorus with his own Ditto. So that's kind of what I'm going to go after for here. The defense obviously allows me to take on hits from a lot of his defensive mons, whether it's a Trio, whether it's Scissor, because I mean both of them can't really have ice coverage. Haxorus, same thing. I'm not going to stand on any special attacker because, you know, mostly every one of his mons can run HP Ice or Ice Beam. I'm not really a fan of that. Archeops I could also take advantage of too. So that's the idea with this Landorus, and we're going to move on. Next up we have Rotom, and this Rotom is a Spidef set, Volt Switch, Hydro, Willow, and Pain Split. No defog just because I don't want to get rid of my own hazards. Hazards are going to be very important, as you'll see in a few minutes. It is going to be running, it's extremely bulky, max HP, almost max Spidef. The defense I kind of just toss in there, and then the special attack is there so I can one-shot a Blacephalon with Hydro Pump, and the speed is there just to creep, I believe, Scissor if it's a defensive variant. The Willow there is to cripple the likes of the Haxorus if it doesn't have sub, which I highly doubt. Also can cripple Mega Scissor if he wants to stay in. Same with Trio. Trio really doesn't deal with Rotom very well, and if he doesn't bring Trio, I can pretty much Volt Switch freely across his team. His only 2 resists are Shaman and Haxorus. So that's really nice. I have enough special attack to almost to a KO a defensive Toxapex, Oko Blacephalon. It's a good defensive check overall, and the nice thing is that if he tries to copy I'm bringing Komo'o, which you'll see in a second. If he tries to copy Komo'o, this thing can take it on, can pain split, and kind of whittle down his Ditto and kind of keep me at some sort of like healthy-ish HP. And I could also pivot out on it while also taking a Clanging Scales, which, again, you'll see in a moment. Just a very good, solid defensive check as it's been all season, so I'm going to keep running with it. Next we have Komo'o. This is going to be a special attacking set. It's going to be a Haban lore set. Clanging Scales, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Taunt. Taunt is there to stop Toxapex from being a little bastard. It has good neutral coverage for the vast majority of his team. The Taunt, I mean, it really only affects Toxapex. It could also stop Mega Scissor from defogging, but besides that, not really much it's going to be doing. Most of the things outpace, obviously, Komo'o at base 85. It's going to be extremely bulky on pretty much all three sides, HP, defense, special defense. Special defense allows it to take, I believe, a Psychic and an HP Ice. Psychic from both from Shaman, I should say. It also allows me to take a... he can't go for Shadow Ball against Haxorus because of Bulletproof. Clanging Scales is there for a sub DD Haxorus if he gets the +1 and has Outrage. Because I'm not bringing my Fairy, Dancy is really not good in this matchup whatsoever. If he gets behind a sub and he goes for... he already burns his Z move on whatever. I try and coax him to burn his Z move. If only rocks are up and Haxorus never hits the field, and I'm down just taking rocks damage, he has a 6.3% to OHKO me from +1 Jolly Outrage, which allows me to then knock him out through the sub. Clanging Scales, obviously a sound move, and that pretty much deals with Haxorus right off the bat. No big deal, and I can keep going from there. And it has enough special attack to hit everything neutrally or super effectively. Flash Cannon is there for the Rabombi, Flamethrower is there for the Shaman, Clanging Scales is there for Haxorus, but just vast neutral damage across the entirety of his team. Forces him to recover, forces him to stay bulky, and pretty much allows me to get just to be in a good position. But I don't really want to use Komo'o if I don't have to, especially if I'm seeing Haxorus in the back. Save this thing for when I absolutely need it, and ensure that I could let the Haban do pretty much what I want it to do. Next, we have Roserade. This is going to be a spike stacking set. It's going to be running Dual Stab, Dazzling Gleam to hit Komo'o as well as Haxorus, so I'm not pretty much hard-walled by either a Ditto-copied Komo'o or Haxorus. And spikes are pretty much necessary because spikes force him to defog with Scissor, with Mew. It, gets a good 25% off on Toxapex. It breaks the sash on Dugtrio. Ditto takes damage before it copies Landorus or even Rotom. Shaman, Haxorus, the only thing it doesn't affect is Rotom Fan, which can defog, but I don't want to stay in against it, but if he has Rotom Fan and I go for a Sludge Bomb, he's going to take massive damage. Upwards, I think my mox was like, if you're bringing an offensive or a Trick Scarf set, pretty much Sludge Bomb is doing like 49%, which he really doesn't want to take, and he has the chance of getting that Sludge Bomb poison, which then, if rocks are up, he's taking another 25%. You see the problem with Rotom Fan. Giga Drain is there just for recovery. No synthesis because I couldn't really fit it. 4 move slot syndrome. This is going to be also a Spadef set to take on Komo'o. It also takes on Shaman. It was running Air Slash. I believe Psychic does about 55 to 65%. Can also take on Mew. It's not going to do anything. I'm not going to leave it in against Mew, but it can if I need it to, if it's a means of a KO. Also, this doesn't lose to itself, being Ditto. And this also beats Rabombi, so it can't really beat me, even with HP Fire. Modest HP Fire doesn't beat me, so we're going to run with that. Bucephalon could be, well, I'm not staying on Bucephalon with Roserade, so. That's this set. Black Sludge, Timid. Oh, Timid outspeeds a Adamant Haxorus, if I'm correct. Obviously not a +1, but if I can get it in for free after he burns something, I can Dazzling Gleam and either KO it or get a lot of damage off. Next up, second to last, we have our first new member, and I didn't do a video on this because I've been extremely busy with police stuff. We have one of our transfers. I ended up dropping Alamola for Rhyperior, as Mr. Finance, as Geo calls it. But this is a, also, Spadef set. It doesn't really need a defensive investment at base 130, but the Spadef really does a lot for this. Unless I'm facing Shaman, I could pretty much take hits from anything. I don't really want to stay in against Toxapex because I don't want to get burned, which then pretty much just makes this thing null, almost. But it stops Rabombi. It stops Mew, because if it goes for Ice Beam or Psychic, I kind of just chew that and get off really big damage. Let's see, Bucephalon can't KO me, and then even Rotom Fan. This thing is a really good pivot for Rotom Fan. A Guava Berry, because I could take one Bullet Punch and one Earthquake. Bullet Punch from Scissor, Earthquake from Dugtrio, and that allows me to get back up to almost 75%. But Earthquake is there. Covers for Toxapex, it covers for almost anything. The only two things that he doesn't, or that are immune to it are, well, let's see, Rotom Fan and Archeops. Rock Blast is there for those two specifically, and Fire Punch is there for Shaman. Stealth Rock, I want to get Stealth Rock up earlier in the match, just because it would force Archeops to break a sash, Dugtrio break a sash, 25% right off the bat to Blacephalon, things like that. And with Spikes, it's good just to get that damage off over time. So really looking forward to Rhyperior. Glad I dropped Alomola for it, and you know, I didn't really realize how much of a powerhouse this thing was until I started building with it and using it in my mock. And I could really see this thing doing a really good job. No, it's just a good tank for the team. Finally, we have Mega Houndoom. Mega Houndoom is going to be just a very straightforward, a single, just dual stab set. Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, Sucker Punch, Pursuit. I can Pursuit Blacephalon if I don't see Dugtrio. I can just Dark Pulse everything if I don't see Dugtrio. Basically, the whole objective of this is to not get trapped. That's it. But it's free damage across the vast majority of his team. Even if I come in on rocks and he has Rabombi and I go for Dark Pulse, I can follow it up with a Flamethrower. He can't knock me out with like an HP Ground or a Moonblast or anything of that nature. And I can knock it out outright with Flamethrower. And if he tries the Quiver Dance, still can't live. So it doesn't matter. Really nice matchup, except for Toxapex. If he's Spadef, it means he's not defensive for something like Komodo, which also means that he can't really take an Earthquake from Rhyperior. It's really nice, and just with this neutral, dark, and fire coverage, I can hit a lot of his things as I need to, basically. And Pursuit's also there to trap Mew in case it's U-turn. It can trap Blacephalon if there's no Dugtrio, like I said. Sucker Punch is there late game for Dugtrio, Haxorus, or even Mew or Scissor. Just if I want to get off chip damage before, I would go down to, like, say, Rocks or whatever. He just overall has very few switch-ins for Dark Pulse over his entire team. So that's the team. We have our setup sweeper with Landorus. We have, 2 core breakers with Komodo and Mega Houndoom. We have 3 really nice tanks, 2 of which with healing. We have Rhyperior, obviously, which is going to be hazards and big tank. We have Roserade and we have Rotom. So I'm really looking forward to this match. I love playing Geo. He is my favorite person to watch in the GBA. He's also my favorite person in general across the entirety of the GBA. Very, humble dude, very nice guy, and allowed me to stay with him, as you guys saw in the Teambuilder last week, for an entire week. So I can't say enough nice things about Geo. Really hope that we have a great match, and you guys will see that today because we battled today, and this is going up. Then I'm gonna edit my video, and then we're gonna upload together, which will probably be a little bit later. So for your PST people, it'll be a little bit earlier. For me, EST might be upwards like 8-9 o'clock. So with that in mind, we're gonna go into the match. Hope you guys enjoy, and hey, go Sharpedos. So let's get it.